The top 3 pizza toppings in the world. Pepperoni, mushrooms, and onions. Hey, Mr. School Counselor, we have made it to September. Welcome home, my viewers, and to my new viewers and subscribers, if this is the first time you are here, this is your home as well. Before we begin, make sure you are subscribing, you're liking, you're hitting the bell, you're turning your notifications on, because we do not know who can use this information. Let's get on to business. Are you ready for the school year? Are you? Because it flies. Every year I say the same thing when September hits. Oh my gosh, the summer has gone, it flew by, and this year it was no different. Yes, it did fly by as well. What are we talking today? We are talking accreditation. Why it's important to start getting to know information like this or words like this, because they may make a difference in the college or university you decide to choose. So sit back, audience, relax, make sure you're watching, and welcome to the Mr. School Counselor Show. All right, so 50states.com defines accreditation as: accreditation is a process of validation in which colleges, universities, and other institutions of higher learning are evaluated. The standards for accreditation are set by a peer review board, whose members include faculty from various accredited colleges and universities. What did I just read? If you're like me, I had to take a step back. I went a little more in depth, and I started looking for more terms or more ways, or better ways, I should say, to define what accreditation is. So for the purpose of this video, we're going to use the name Steve. Saw a movie yesterday with the main character's name Steve, so it's just going to stick. Steve wanted to be a nurse since high school. He knows it's a respectable career. It's hard work. It's very rewarding helping others. So he decides, I'm going to go into college and I'm going to be a nurse. So he starts doing the research, starts looking up information, and goes, okay, I'm going to go to XYZ school. Now, XYZ school is not accredited, but Steve goes anyways, takes the classes, busts his butt, graduates. When he graduates, he goes to a hospital to apply, and the hospital says, sorry, son, the school you went to, they're a non-accredited agency. And Steve goes, what? No, but I looked, they're an accredited program. Yeah, they may be an accredited university, but they don't have an accredited nursing program. What does that mean? Unfortunately, the work that Steve puts in, and every agency is different, but the work that Steve just put in, it's gonna be a waste. He had all those credits, did all those credits, and nobody told him. He didn't even know that is something that's possible. That's why it's important. Look to see if your program at the school you want to go to is accredited. Another example, let's say Steve goes to XYZ University, starts his program, 2 years in, comes to find out, wait a minute, this school that I was at is not accredited, and tries to transfer. Do you know there are some colleges and universities out there that when you try to transfer all of your credits, they may take 1 or 2. They may take all, who knows? But they may take 1 or 2. And if they take 1 or 2 and then you try to fight tooth and nail or share, but I took this course, I took this course, I took this course, they could tell you, yes, Steve, we understand you did. They could apply towards credits, but they don't apply towards this program, because our program is an accredited program, which means it's looked at higher standards. It follows what the review board shares. The school Steve was at doesn't. So this could be a problem as well. Another thing to consider. Now, let's flip it. Here's the difference. Steve decides to go to a college or university that has an accredited nursing program. Steve does the work, puts all that time in, and when he graduates, he goes to an interview, and they say, hey, I know that school, or I went to XYZ school as well. That's an accredited agency. I know how hard they work there. Their accreditation board is approved by A, B, and C. See, now Steve is more prepared. Now Steve knows that when it comes time to interview against other candidates, because that's what's going to happen, the employer interviewing Steve is already on agreement that Steve's program is accredited. Now, here's a question. Ask yourself this. Would you rather do the research in high school, preparing yourself if you know the program you want to get into? So if we're sticking to Steve right now, should Steve go into any program because they offer a great package, sounds too good to be true, or should he just do a little more research? We know the answer here, doing a little more research. There's one thing we can't get back. We can't get time back. So put your time to good use. Don't be like Steve A, that just goes to XYZ University, was promised a dream, promised a nursing program, but was not promised a career. If you go to an accredited program, will it be more difficult? Possibly. The standards are different. Is it more rewarding though? I would say yes to that one. The reason I would say yes is because you know when you graduate, you are graduating from an accredited program. The reason I say look into is your school. If your college or university is accredited, but the program is not, that also falls under the same lines. So just because your school is accredited doesn't mean your program is. So you have to ask questions. Let's get into asking questions. Now, one of the best people to ask is an admissions counselor. See if they can answer the question or help you find where to answer this question. If they automatically tell you off the bat, yes, the nursing program here is in the process, okay, you keep inquiring. But if they say no, the nursing program here is not accredited, maybe something to look into. You don't want to go somewhere where you're going to be wasting your time. See if you can get in contact with the nursing program director. Is the nursing program here accredited? If they say yes, that's great. You follow up now. Who are they accredited by? It's just asking questions. I'd rather you ask a question than to waste 4 years or 5 years of your hard-earned time, all because you didn't ask that one question. Don't be afraid. And if it's something that you want to ask and you're kind of timid or not sure if you should ask, you can always ask Mr. School Counselor. You can always ask your school or guidance counselor to ask at your respective high schools. You can always ask your parents to reach out as well. The job here is to get you to the next level so that then you can start working towards your career. It would suck that you put all that time in and here you are now and can't get hired as a nurse because the courses you took weren't accredited. I know it sounds crazy, it really does. But if those are the standards that need to be met by nursing programs across the country, then do a little more research. Find out. There are a lot of schools out there. I'm telling you, there are a lot of schools with a lot of different accredited programs. Find one. And if you don't know, you ask. Ask the admissions counselor. If you don't know an admissions counselor, you can't find one, ask the program director or the coordinator. Get that information. Don't just go to a school because, oh, sounds good, or, oh, I can finish in a year. I'm gonna tell you right now, you can ask around. Steve, if I'm talking to a Steve right now, if I were to be talking to Steve, I'd tell Steve, find a nurse and tell them if they could get this program done in a year. And they're probably gonna tell you, no way. You gotta earn it. Let's not fake the funk. A nursing program, to graduate with a nursing degree, you ain't gonna get it done in a year. So if you hear a program that can offer it in a year, you better question it. Now, I'm not one to say, oh yes, it can or cannot be done. I just know a good amount of nurses. And I know that they put that work in. If you find one though, I'll find a program that says that. Ask questions, see where they're accredited, see what the philosophy they follow. This is important and it applies to all programs. Once you're ready to do your program, find out if it's accredited or not. If it is, inquire more. If it's not, inquire more and then start thinking, do I really want to go to a school that does not have an accredited program? What are the pros and cons to that? Because it's going to be your time and it's going to be your money trying to get you to the career you want to get to. All right, students, hopefully you learned something from Steve and accredited and non-accredited programs. Remember, do your research. That's the biggest thing. You do research for term papers. If you're a student athlete, you do research on other teams. You do research on plays. You're trying to get to college. So do the research for the next step. Again, You don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste your money. I want to thank you for watching. If there's any questions, anything you feel that I missed, parents, admission counselors as well, feel free to leave it down low. All right, this is for the kids. We got to bring this level of awareness. Last thing I want to hear is a student going to a program and saying, I should have or I could have. Let's stop that, all right? And we can do that here. So, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.